Hello friends, tonight we are going to be looking at Workhorse stock once again because after hours last night when I was actually in bed, because I live in the UK and I know a lot of you guys are in America, the stock did actually drop. So I had a lot of comments whilst I was actually asleep, people asking me why the stock has dropped. So obviously it's actually quite hard for me to respond to so many comments, so what I decided to do is go on and make a full-on video about it. So if that does sound good, I appreciate it if you guys could just leave a like and subscribe. Just press that little like button, press that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 300 subscribers. We're so close, we only need 40 people to do it. Can you be one of the people to help us get there? Honestly, it would mean so much to me, and all this content in this video is for free. So another thing which I need to say before we do actually start off, I am no stock analyst. I'm also no financial advisor. I'm sure you guys already knew that. I'm just giving you some reasons on why this stock might have dropped and what you should do in the future, whether you should hold, whether you should sell, whether you should buy, and then I'll be talking about the position that I actually hold in Workhorse at the minute. I'll be explaining what that means all the way at the end. So there's going to be a lot of things in this video. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Please watch all the way through till the end. So yeah, we're going to start off by analysing the stock. On the one day, we can see we have taken a hit of 9%. So we are down minus 9%, unfortunately. And this is one of the very first days where Workhorse stock has actually sold off. Looking out to the longer period at the 5-day, we can see we are actually quite up massively until we saw this big drop off the other day, and ever since then really we are trying to recover. So looking at the long-term path of Workhorse over the past month, we can see periods of buying and then selling off subsequently, and once again we are seeing a big period. Now previously I personally thought this was a sell-off where I've just highlighted on screen. So what I did there is I decided to actually buy in myself. I'm going to talk about that a little bit and what that means for me in the future. But we can see here, this is just, in my opinion, another sell-off around Workhorse, and perhaps just a steeper one this time. Stocks do sell off all the time, and if you just look out to Workhorse stock overall, it's just one of those stocks. All stocks do it, and with a stock which has skyrocketed so much over the past year, it is bound to sell off at some points, and it has been doing so over the past months. And this one is nothing that should be, well, it's nothing that should be focused on too much. It's not really that important in my opinion. So looking at some reasons why this might have happened, honestly, there is no terrible news about Workhorse. There was one article where the Workhorse, I think it was a CEO, was actually selling his shares for no bad reason. If that was for a bad reason, it would actually be illegal. I talked about that in last night's video. Check that one out once you've watched this. But yeah, we can just imagine that's not going to be really too much of a factor. I'm sure it does make a few people a bit apprehensive around Workhorse. Perhaps that's another reason for selling off. But let's look out to the bigger picture. Look at how much we are up on Workhorse stock over the past year, over 579%. That's a similar gain to what Tesla is on at the minute. And that's not even at the dip. If we looked at the dip all the way along a few months ago, we're over 1,000% up. So we can see how this one is going to go here. And a lot of people are happy with this and taking profits. So regarding the news, there's not really too much news about this stock into why it would drop, and even into why it would climb. The only reason why it's been climbing is one, because the company is growing. And the second reason is obviously what you already know about the USPS contract and the hopes that Workhorse is going to get it. So this is between a $6 and $8 billion contract-ish. And if they did get that, that would obviously expand the company such a lot, because the market cap of the company currently is only 2.8 billion. So to land a contract for either 6 or 8 billion or somewhere along those lines would mean such a lot for such a small company. So great things would happen for this company if they did manage to land that contract, but there's been no news about that recently. And if there has, there's been subtle kind of reminders which in a way are kind of good news, even regarding the contract and regarding other things in the company in general. So that's why it would grow. So there's not really been any bad news. So should you sell your shares? I am not going to sell my positions at the minute, even though I am down. I'm going to be explaining why. So there's two ways to look at this. Are we looking at this company as a swing trade or a day trade? Are we looking at this company as a long-term investment? So I'm going to be covering both of those at this time. First things first, if we're going to look at it as a swing trade or a day trade, shall we sell now? Well, if I'm looking at this as a swing trade or a day trade, I would look at my risk management and say, okay, we're going to have a look at where the stock is now, have a look at where the stock might go to, look at some realistic expectations. Is this a dip? Yes, it's a dip. So we're not buying at a high point. Can we see it going up in the future? I personally can. You have to make up your own mind on this one. But, you know, I can see this one going up in the future. Looking at this from like a swing trade, a long-term trade, point of view, I think that this is a fair and safe stock to invest in for these simple reasons. When a stock is this strong, in my opinion, because it has been over 500% of this year and it's only at $27, bear in mind we've got no USPS contract yet, no real big contracts to be honest. I mean, yes, a few here and there, trucks are coming out, but let's look at it from a long-term point of view. They're ramping up the amount of trucks which are being produced. We're looking at a USPS contract which could result in $8 billion profit potentially, alongside other future contracts hopefully, as the brand recognition will already be there. They are also looking to produce drones and a lot of other cool technologies, and for that reason I think Workhorse stock, you should buy it now. Well, I would buy it now, that's what I'm going to say, because I can't tell you to buy it now because I'm not your financial advisor. I would not be apprehensive to buy it now because I think when a stock is this strong, a small decline doesn't really mean anything. Perhaps maybe wait another day and see how we go, in my opinion, but I would not be too worried about buying into this one now, but that's just what I would do. So let's look at some other things, and then I'm going to be showing you my position in this company. So I'm just going to look at this article from Yahoo, finance.yahoo.com if you want to check it out, and this just highlights some of the basic things which you should know. So I'm just going to skim over this first paragraph because it really does tell you everything that you need to know. So Workhorse closed at $30 in the latest trading session, marking a minus 1.09% move from the prior day. Obviously not really great things for the company there. So this basically is not the greatest thing. Just to summarize, as we can imagine, the company's gone down a little bit and this has got a lot of people apprehensive. We then went on to see a minus 9% decline, but when we look deeper into this article, we'll find things telling us how much we are up on this stock. So we can find, I've skimmed and scanned over this one before, so if you just want to take a skim over it, it says that the stock is up over 80% on the past month, and this is obviously a strong stock, so not really, in my opinion, something to worry about. Moves to the downside do happen, and as the stock has been shooting up so much in the past, we could just imagine it to shoot down just as fast or in a similar way in the future, so we can just see why that one's happened here. So now I'm going to be talking to you guys about my position in this stock. So I hope you're going to find this one quite good. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe. So like I said, I am in the United Kingdom, and what happened is I went into this trade after making last night's video thinking, fair enough, this is a very strong stock and I really should hold some of this. So what I decided to do is go for a CFD option on it rather than actually buy the shares, because that way you can potentially make more money over a shorter period of time. So what this is kind of like, I'm going to use an unrealistic example here, but let's say that Workhorse stock is valued at £1, okay? Workhorse stock then goes up to £2. I take the £1 because that's how much it's moved. Let's say Tesla's valued at 500, it goes up to 510. I go in at 500 and I make £10 profit. You can understand how that one works, and this works the downside as well. So Workhorse stock is valued at $30 per share, and then it loses £3. I lose £3 per share. So you can imagine how that one worked. Now I think I went in with about 37 shares and this resulted in me losing over £80 at the minute. So one of my positions is actually over because it lost so much money, and the other one is still currently running. But yes, with this one I'm not really too bothered because one, when it does go up, I'm going to just add more to my position. I unfortunately did get caught out, but I'm not too bothered with this one because with something like this I can just see this one going back up. If I buy it again, I'm not too worried about it at all. I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on that position. If you did like this video, please do leave a like and subscribe. You can see right here we're trying to get to 300. Please help us to get there. Also, feel free to watch any of the videos which will be on screen right now. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye for this one.